This is Music of Lord with Green Light. I'm waiting for the green light. I want it. I know what is your green light, but anyway, your time is 5:26 and up to your station of choice. Of course, we have reached that time where we call it Empowering Your Vision, right here, up to your station of choice.
Empowering Your Vision on RB2.
I am not alone when it comes to this. I'm never alone. I do have Mompoloki Makwana with me on studio. How are you, Mompoloki?
Hi, I am doing so well. It's the festive mood. I'm so looking forward to, the festive activities that are coming up. And already we know that it's close to, next month is a new year. Yeah. How we it seems distant, but how next month it changes everything. So I'm doing so well. How are you doing?
I'm actually quite well. Last week, so my life is very much.
Oh, wow, awesome. So you are knocking off this Friday or this Saturday? Saturday, awesome. Yes. When this song was playing, there's a person that I used to follow a lot on RB2 is O'Neill. O'Neill used to have this show, and he had towards the midday he will have something like "What made you laugh today?"
Yeah.
I thought ziba ziba. So I used to love that, and I've always wanted to be on radio. The way he would articulate things and the way he would share stories. He always had a story before he could even start a show. Yeah. So I had that attitude that I really want to be someone in this space. I want to work in radio. I want to see myself influencing people through what we say. You may not know, but when you are within the studio and people are listening, as far as Monana Dau, there are young people who are looking up to you, and when they see you and celebrate you, you don't see us as a thing because you are used to seeing people celebrate you, and for them it means something different. So when we were playing the song, I'm waiting for the green light. I was thinking the song that he used to like to play a lot. So otherwise, today is the Empowering Your Vision, and we do this every Tuesdays. From January, we'll still be talking the issue of empowerment. You can do better, you can do well. So today our topic is the diseases of attitude. Diseases of attitude. I think I chose to talk about this one because normally when you tell someone, how university will be like, I remember, our older brothers used to tell us a lot about, the vibe back then in UB, the vibe in universities, and how when you are going to start, the things you should look forward to. Yeah. And sometimes they didn't go, on to talk about the FDs, the retakes and stuff like that. So I think sometimes when you are told one side version of the story, it's easy to believe and say, oh, I am in, unless people, unpack everything and say, okay, this is the good side and this is the bad side. So as we have been talking about throughout 2019, we have been talking about you can make it, you can make a breakthrough, change your attitude, improve this, create self-mastery. But today, as we close as the last segment for the year, we are talking about diseases of attitude. I got this topic from the one and only, the personal development guru, Jim Rohn, who talked, a seminar of 45 minutes. He was talking about nothing but diseases of attitude. What is attitude? How can we improve our attitude? And what are those, prominent diseases that we can face with on our personal growth and leadership? And today, our thought of the day, we are taking it from Zig Ziglar. He said, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. How far you can go in life in improving your relationships, how far you can go in life in improving your career, and how far you can go in 2020 in making things better for you is, dependent or depending on your attitude. But what are those key, diseases of attitude that we are faced with as we walk through this hall of life, as we walk through this journey of life? What are the attitude diseases that we have to deal with and that we have to face?
All right, let's start with the first one, procrastination.
What do you think about procrastination? As you look back in your year of 2019, how can you say this can really influence or impact the way you are doing?
It has been a monster in my life for 2019. Procrastination. I wanted to start a lot of things, but I kept saying, even now, even up to the thing that I should have started. But because of 1, 2, 3, I was just Procrastination.
And we are seeing this spilling in all other aspects of our lives, because I think procrastination on one element, it spills off in other elements. And we have seen people who are, when we're meaning well, who are doing so well, that they end up failing in relationships, they end up losing jobs, they end up losing the things they have built for years because of one element of procrastination, that I will do this tomorrow, I will do this next week. When I do consultancy on the area of personal development and growth, on creating high performance culture for employees, when you go to these big organizations, right, and you go to their hallway and you see the vision and the mission statement, their missions mean well. We want to be the leading growing organization in Southern Africa or in Africa. Our values are integrity, respect. But when you walk around, the employee vibe does not speak to the mission and the attributes they say they are going to be aligning with. In a short space, all I mean is there are people who have missions and visions for the year. They know what they want their year to look like. They know what they want their life to look like at the end of 2019. There are people who have said, in 2019, these are the things I am going to do. They have written down the goals, but they have not cultivated the energy and enough drive to putting themselves in a position where they are able to acquire the things they want to get. So procrastination is one of the killer of many dreams. And not only dreams, when you talk about in the essence of dreams, it sounds lightly, but the procrastination in relationship, the procrastination in doing the job that you were hired to do, the procrastination in showing up for the meeting that could change your business forever. So we have so many people right now who are still holding back from living the life they could live by only a moment or an inch. I will do this tomorrow. I will start next year. I will start next week. I will start, the coming month. So we end up having a pile of things in our lives and not executing the things we said we are going to do. The whole element and the theme of my first book, The Birth of Greatness, it lies within these simple sentences. Be in a position to do what you said you are going to do. There is no competition out there, because most people, they never do the things they said they are going to do. If you can be in a position in 2020 where you are dreaming to start the radio station, where you are starting to start, you are willing to start an online TV, you are willing to start a YouTube channel, you are willing to register for that short course on management, you are willing to start that relationship, and you look around for people, what they are saying, there are people today, Zandile, who have not started that journey, because once they said, I am going to do this, they had someone next door who is more qualified than them, who has more following than them, who has more influence than them, who has more support than them, and they said, I am not going to start because so and so Haba Simulula, they are going to take my business, and they haven't started up until today. They've said that in March, they've said that in May, they said that last year in 2018 in November. They haven't started because they had someone say, I'm going to start. But the killer of all dreams is procrastination. You may not have the support, you may not have the influence, you may not have the right voice, but if you keep procrastination, one day will be no day. There is a point where the dreams we used to have that inspired us to wake up every single morning, that if we keep putting them away, if we keep wishing that one day they will manifest in our plate and show at our doorstep, they will never do that. Because procrastination is the killer and the enemy for all. I remember years back, when I started my standard 1 and I reversed back, I didn't want to go to school anymore. So I passed 2 years without going to school. My mother was so pissed off. She was not happy with that. My grandmother was not happy with that. I remember the principal was, when I be the Mama Taba, she will come with her Toyota van, to our place and say, and I'll be sitting back at the back of my house and listening. My uncle had only one comment. So I was moving around that. And I'll be playing that hide and seek games with them. And I never did that up until I got to a position where I got really sick and tired. There are people today who are not yet tired about the life they are living. True. So they keep on putting off. It's not in emergency. When you walk in traffic and you see cars are moving in a steady way and you're playing your music, and all of a sudden it's it's emergency. This is the ambulance now. We have to move off the way, and the ambulance has to pass in order to do what it has to do. And we all move all the way. Now, some people today, we have people who are standing on our way. We have people who are not supporting us because we are not on emergency. We told them in January that I am going to buy a car. I am going to start a business. And we have never done that even up to now because we are not on emergency. Up until you move from I want to do this, I should do this, and you move to I must do this, everything else changes when we are in emergency mode, when we are no longer talking about it, but we are being about it. And what I'm saying is procrastination is the killer of so many dreams. Up until you get to a position before this end of November or December, up until you are saying, I am sick and tired of telling people that I'm going to do the things which I know I am not going to do. I am sick and tired of telling people that this time I will change, which I know I am not going to do. Then you are going to see progress. You are going to see success. You are going to see breakthrough. You are going to see improvement in your life. But up until you get in emergency, procrastination will always be holding you down.
All right, indecision.
How many people today, they know what they have to do, but they are not doing it because they are not sure of where to start? There are so many people today who know where they want to be, but they are still hanging in areas where they shouldn't be. There's a book that I've read that changed the whole, my mindset and my attitude around doing things. Is how to move from where you are to where you want to be by, it's the Success Principles by I forgot the name of the gentleman. He said how to move from where you are to where you want to be. And the first chapter he's talking about taking 100% responsibility for your life. Yes, other people have hurt you before. Yes, the breakup that you were going from last week is still haunting you, is still piecing your heart into pieces, right? And yes, the job that you lost maybe a month or a year ago, you are still holding grudges. But in 2020, you are not going to be able to make any breakthroughs if you are still indecisive because of what happened to you. There are people today who are not making any decisions because that decision-making power has been taken away by the breakup that happened to them in 2013. There are people who went through things that really took their self-confidence, and today they cannot make any decisions because of what happened to them in 2000. Yes, the years are changing, but they are not changing. Their attitude is not changing because of what happened to them before. The same way I was talking about this weeks ago when I said yesterday's home run cannot win today's game. Yesterday's break up cannot be the one which holding you to make a breakthrough. Yesterday's job loss, yesterday's loss of a loved one, although it may be tiring, although it may be painful, it shouldn't be in a place from holding you back to being the person you were meant to be. There are people today, you look at them, Zandile, and this girl has potential, this young man has potential, this lady has potential. If only she could stop, taking decisions which are given to her by friends. There are people today who have been operating 2019 from the script that were given by their parents, from the script they were given by their friends, from the script they were given by their, their colleagues at work. There are people today who have bought the house which they didn't like, but because a friend liked it and they had to make a decision on that. There are people today who are going to university, young people who have passed and did well in university, and when I pilot, I want to become a pilot, and their parents are saying, accountant, accountant. As we head to 2020, the knowledge-based economy, as we are enrolling into it, deep into it, the people who are going to win are people who are authentic with themselves. They are congruent with how they feel, what they are thinking, and what they are doing. They are not thinking something else and doing anything else. That's what causes depression. That's what causes the breakup. That's what causes divorce. Because people are moving with their physical body, but the emotional bank account is left behind. So as you head to 2020, you can kill the disease of attitude, which is called indecision, not making decisions. By doing what? By being authentic with yourself. Stop playing on the script of what other people are asking you to do. Do not move into that marriage because your parents are happy for you. Do not move into that business because your friends are saying you are the man, you are the boss, or you are the boss lady. Do not move into that career because you want other people to celebrate you while you are not celebrating you. A victory in the outside, which you are not happy in the outside, is a loss. Those are the words of my mentor, B.F. Rams. A victory in the outside, which you know deep inside your heart that is not what you want to do, is a loss. I want you to head to 2020 with the attitude of understanding a win is a win that is defined by you. It's not defined by your friends. It's not defined by your colleagues. Sometimes we end up being in a position where we don't even know what we want, but knowing what we want, but because of the people around us, saying a lot of things, saying a lot of, noise of what we should do about our lives, it end up holding into a stalemate where we don't know what to do. So indecision can only be killed when we are authentic with ourselves. When I say Mompoloki Makwana, what I want to do in my lifetime is just changing people's lives. I want to be writing books. I want to be sharing knowledge through what I say and what I do. I want to be inspiring someone to look back and say, wow, Mr. Makwana, because of what you said, I managed to build my relationship. I managed to build my organization. I managed to build my business. But if I am hanging around the people who are saying, Mona usuntoro onne tender boy, Mona usuntoro onne lesol, Mona usuntoro onne nurse, ki hela tsa kitsa na moyo ne khaya indecision, which is a disease of attitude. Khantele ki hela tsa kitsa behavior, khantele ki hela tsa kitsa diresepe, khantele I lock myself indoor and I go into depression. I go into a lot of things which I shouldn't have even experienced. If at the get-go I could have said, people, this is my path and I'm choosing this path. Yes.
All right, doubt.
So many people today, have you ever got in a space where you are doubting yourself, where you feel like, I know I can do this, but at the end of the day, you stand in front of yourself and say, I cannot do this. And how has it impacted your life as you were growing up or this year? I don't know.
What it has done, it's made me not to move on with what I wanted to do. Yeah, because will it work? Am I good enough? Maybe I'm not. Let me not do it. Yeah.
And so many people today, they even missed the career opportunities that they could be experiencing, the things they really wanted because of cultivating the seed of doubt. And it happens like a farmer preparing the land to plow. One single doubt can spread into your whole farm of your relationships, your businesses, and your organizations. So as you plant seeds of doubt throughout, like your mind gets used to that systematic way of thinking. Because you have always been doing so you end up doing that in every aspect of your life. So doing one-on-one coaching sessions in my life, I realized that people, when they say relationship, I realized that you find that it's only one thing that is affecting all other crops. I remember, Pastor Morute Tiero used to be on RB2 every morning, and he used to talk about this on Sunday. There's a teaching that really planted into my life. He said, he read a chapter in the Bible that said, go and catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that destroys the vineyard. The little foxes that destroys the vineyards. The vineyards, we're talking about 1,000 hectares. People who used to plant. People back in the ancient days, they used to plant crops, and they would put them in silos for seasons, even 10 years to come. Yeah. And they would have that. But they were little foxes that were destroying those vineyards. Big farms, small foxes. We have big lives we want to aspire to live, but there are small foxes in our lives, and one of the foxes is doubt, which is eating away the future we could be experiencing. There are so many people today who know within their heart of hearts that my life can change. Mr. Makwana, I've been planning this thing. I have this plan. I can even show you my goals. I can show you my action plans, what I do every single morning. But only one seed of doubt in a day changes everything. Messes up the relationship, messes up the businesses, messes up their careers, and messes up their friendships, because they were thinking, that one single doubt, it multiplies and gives you the reality which you have planted. So nothing ever in 2020 is going to change if we are not leaving this bag of doubt in 2019. We have to leave this little fox of doubt, of thinking things are not going to work for me. Things are not going to go the way I thought. What if they work? What if they work? Sometimes the little light we need is asking ourselves this question: what if the things that I say is not going to work really works? Zandile, I've seen my life break through and people celebrating me in papers on the things that I use, they will never work. And ever since I saw that, I am never saying I am not going to try this because I think it cannot work. I know that every thought that comes to my mind is ready for execution, is coming at the right time, at the right season. I may not see the people who have to help me, but that thought is coming at a season time. When the time is right, I, the Lord, shall make it right. I believe in that principle, that a thought cannot come to my head unless it's ready for execution. Why would I waste my neurons and my systematic way of thinking by thinking of something that is not relevant for the season? Any moment a doubt comes in, Botswana is a small population. The market is small. The people are not yet there. Please, the people are not yet there because you haven't implemented that. The people are not celebrating that field of building cars because you haven't started that. The people are not celebrating that idea of building homes for all people like America because you haven't said that to a town planner, to a city planner, to a councillor. They are not talking about that because you are the person who has to bring that idea. Up until we operate from that systematic way of thinking, that kind of attitude that, yes, they are not celebrating yet because I have not stepped in the door. Yes, they are not saying about this field because I haven't started in that field. That is what liberated me from taking action. I am writing books like I'm releasing seeds. Like every single day I am aware. This is the time to put out information because the bush will overtake the village if the village stops growing. In your life, in your relationship, anything that you want to build that you are not doing, something else that you don't want is replacing it. Any moment in your life in 2020, anything that you know that you are supposed to be doing to get a promotion and you are not doing it, know that you are promoting other activities which are hindering you from seeing that promotion. And doubt is one of them. And there's a statement that I've shared recently, and I saw that's one of the quotes that is trending for my side on my Facebook page is, don't doubt your dreams, doubt your fears. Don't doubt your dreams, doubt your doubts. At any moment you have an idea, it's ready for execution. It's the green light. Remember the song we played before the segment? I'm waiting for the green light. The green light is you giving the green light and saying, I am willing to start this thing, even if people are not talking about it yet. Some people are waiting for the time, hoping, oh, now is the time for cell phones, and they are moving into cell phone, and we have two people who have already taken the market. The market that you have is the market you are having inside of you. That idea is the one which separates you from everything else. I moved from the idea of saying, now I'm looking for networks of influential people, up until I realized, what? If I qualify myself with the idea I have, what makes us wealthy and not rich, riches are, for temporary, but wealth is across board. What makes us wealthy is the ideas. The fact that you have an idea, it means you are sitting on a dynamite. Stop doubting your ideas and start doubting your doubts.
Now we move on to worry.
I'm so worried that it may not work. I'm so worried that if I start this, people will not start hanging with me. I'm worried that my parents will not be happy for me. I'm worried that if I start this thing, maybe the market's not ready for me. The same thing with doubts. So worry, what it does, it creates an element of doubt. It cements it. It multiplies doubt in you. So the more you get worried, the more you get doing nothing. We have one energy as human nature. The division of energy within us, it's giving us the reality we are having today. The kind of energy you are multiplying yourself in, that you are multiplying yourself in the internal world, is reflected on the external world. That is why we see people who say, Miss World, Miss Universe. The energy they have been multiplying in them is, I am a queen. I can do this. I can step in global stages and make a difference. This is the energy they will multiply inside of them. So when we see them speak with confidence and they show up as the authentic self, it's not something they are faking. It's something they have been multiplying in the inside of them. They were not multiplying worry. Otherwise, if they were multiplying worry, there are the people who will be commenting mo di post about worry. You are multiplying worry. What are you multiplying as you head to 2020 that can set you in a different space? So that is that. So I connected with the element of doubt. Stop being worried. And I said in my book, Embrace Your Greatness, the new book, I said, when we are worried, when we are doubting ourselves, when we are limiting ourselves, there is no growth in that. We only grow by focusing on the element of growth and saying, I can do better. I deserve to be in the stage. I deserve to be celebrated. I deserve to face each day like everyone else deserves to be. When I walk out of the door today, people are going to open their offices for me. They are not going to say, go back and attach a stamp. Go back and do this. I am expecting that wherever I'm going, the person who's going to help me today is going to help me diligently, and they are going to go all their way to help me to succeed in this. The expectation you are setting is set your day. Everything tends to end how it started. How you are starting the year with the attitude of saying, I am not going to doubt myself. I am not going to be worried. I am going to fill my thoughts with positivity, with growth, and with the element of success. That's what you are going to multiply. Your outer world, what we see today at your job, is the reflection of your internal world.
Complaining and blaming.
They rhyme together and they go together. Most people are complaining and blaming. And at the end of the day, they have not done anything. Taking 100% responsibility for your life means, yes, Zandile may not have showed up for the meeting, but because you showed up, what can you do where you are? Instead of saying, what can you do with the outcomes that are coming your way? Complaining will not make you better. Blaming other people does not make you a better person. You are the same as other people you are blaming unless you take action on what you are blaming them on. As long as you are able to step up to the plate and say, they haven't done this. The question is, what have you done? What have you done? The most prominent question at the end of our lives is, what did you do with what you were given? It's not what happens to you that is of matter. It's what you are doing that matters. At the end of the day, it's what contribution have I made. It's one emotional need that every person have to meet, the need of contribution. What is your contribution in this universe? What are you willing to do when other people are not showing up? When other people are not doing what they say they are going to do, when other people are not, giving you the money they say they are going to give you the support they say they are going to give, because people can help you for so long, but because this dream and this vision, you have it for a lifetime, you might as well as start believing in yourself. Your family is counting on you as you head to 2020. Your spouse is counting on you. Your mother is counting on you. Your brother, your siblings are counting on you. This nation is counting on you, and you are counting on yourself. Stop blaming and complaining. The attitudes of diseases, the diseases of attitude are nothing but what we build inside of us. I've talked about this, but as we head to 2020, let us be willing to be in a place where we are saying, I have tried to get people on board, but I realize that up until I get myself on board, no one will come on board. Everything else is waiting for you to make a move. Up until you make a move, nothing is going to happen. It's Jim Rohn who said, as I close, for things to change, I have to change. 2020 does not have to change. The weather does not have to change. The friends does not have to change. But up until you change, then things are going to change for you. Up until you make a decision that I am tired of complaining, I am tired of procrastinating, I am tired of being in a position where I'm not taking decisions that are changing my life. I am tired of doubt. I am tired of always being worried. I am tired of complaining and blaming. Up until you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, nothing else will change in your life. 2020 is nothing but a year, but if you want something different, you better be a different one. Every factor is not going to change. It's not economics. Assume the wind is not blowing. The wind is going to blow. The winter will come. Summer will come. Rains will come. Everything else will come as you know it. But you are going to show differently. And as you show different in a different manner, then things are going to change for you. Nothing else has to change but your internal world. And that is waiting for you. Kibidu hela wate Mompoloki Makwana. My number is 74776196. 74776196.
Thank you so much, Mompoloki. Up until next year.
Thank you so much, Ma.
All right. 5:58 on Aperture Station of choice.